Tom and Shelley with Empower Network and the 1010 Formula Team. We would like to share some information with you about corporate slavery.
Corporate slaves. Wow. Were you aware that slavery is alive and well today, especially in corporate America? Now, when I say the word slave, immediately uh, there's a plethora of things that may come to your mind when you think about slavery. I'm referring, of course, to slavery in the business place. Slavery that very oftentimes we walk into with gilded blindfolds on. Don't even realize it till it's way too late and that golden door slams behind you and there you are in the birdcage. So, what do we mean by corporate slave? Corporate slave, in our opinion, is someone who trades their life, basically, their time for money, under the pretense that they need that to support their family, to have all the better things in life, all of those things that we're taught from a very young age that we can do in the corporate world if we just shut up, get in line, and keep our grumbling to ourselves.
Right. Follow the lead.
Mm-hmm.
All too often, though, the leader is doing something way different than they're telling you to do.
That's very true. That's very true. Oftentimes, the company makes all the money, and it's like that old Jerry Reed song. They get the gold mine, you get the shaft. So what we thought about when we were thinking about corporate slavery is, of course, some of the excuses that you give yourselves to stay in that golden cage, to keep yourself becoming a slave to the corporate world. Things like we talked about earlier, like I need this job, I've got to take care of my family, I have a baby on the way, I don't have any skills, I don't know how to do this internet thing. Besides, it's probably just a pyramid scheme anyway, right? And then, of course, you have your friends to help. Your friends will always say, hey, Tom, you got a good job here. You don't need to give that up. You need to stick with what you got, what you know how to do. Besides, that stuff really doesn't work out there on the internet, and, there's no reason to go out there and try it. You need to stick with what you know and true. And that's what happens when we operate out of fear.
Yes.
We tend to always come back to our comfort zone. And unfortunately, the comfort zone is that nice golden cage with the door always open. Even if we get away for a little while, we know we've got the security of that cage. We can run right back to it. And sometimes even get into using that as a plan B when we get into internet marketing or other things like that.
And so kind of goes to yesterday's post about freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a cost of freedom. So you can free yourself from corporate slavery. Now, we're not suggesting you go out and quit your job tomorrow because Tom and I both have jobs right now, and we are working towards freeing ourselves from the corporate slavery that we are in right now. And we would, ask you to accompany us in that journey. If you want freedom, there is a price. You're going to have to commit some time and effort, and yes, some financial resources. And you can do this in tandem to however you're earning a living right now. And so join us.
That's right. So what we'd like you to do right now is right down below, you'll see some information on where to click to take a little bit more, to take another look at this information and the team that we're on, which is, of course, the Empower Network and the 1010 Formula Team. We'd invite you to look at that and make a decision as to whether or not you want things to change. Because remember this, unless you take massive action, nothing's ever going to change. And here's a promise that I can make to you. If you don't change the things that you're doing right now to free your life, nothing will ever change.
That's right. If you change nothing, nothing will ever change. And remember, we pay for our money with our precious time. And time is the one resource that we can't make more of. We can go make more money. And yeah, we might have to sacrifice some initial time to do that. But in the long run, you're going to have way more time freedom and financial freedom.
Absolutely. So until next time,
Well,
we'll see you on the inside.
thanks for joining us.
Thanks. Have a great day.